President Biden condemns white supremacy in an emotional speech in Buffalo, New York. I'm Tyrone Bowman. This is Tyrone Bowman Tonight. I found an article in Apple News online, so let's get right down to it. Quote, President Joe Biden on Tuesday called the deadly supermarket shooting in Buffalo, New York, an act of terror and excoriated the white supremacist ideology that inspired the alleged gunman. But he stopped short of announcing in a political agenda in the massacre's aftermath. What happened here is simple and straightforward terrorism, Biden said during a visit to Buffalo. Terrorism, domestic terrorism, violence inflicted in the service of hate, and a vicious thirst for power that defines one group of people being inherently inferior to any other group. In an emotional speech before the victims' families, local officials, and community leaders, Biden assumed a familiar role of grief counselor and empathizer in chief. His first wife and daughter were killed in a car accident in 1972, and his son, Bo, died of cancer in 2015. The day is going to come where the loved one will bring a smile as you remember him or her, a smile to your lips before it brings a tear to your eye, the president told the families gathered at the DeLavan Grider Community Center on Buffalo's east side. The setting was minutes away from the Jefferson Avenue tops, where the suspect assailant, Peyton Gendron, killed 10 people on Saturday. Gendron, 18, allegedly drove more than 200 miles from Copland, New York, to carry out the attack in a predominantly black neighborhood. Officials said he scooped out the grocery store a day earlier. As many black people as possible, he killed. I probably read that wrong, so let me try it again. Officials said he scoped out the grocery store a day earlier with the deliberate intent of killing as many black people as possible. He said as much in a 180-page manifesto he posted on the internet hours before the carnage, espousing what is known as replacement theory. The belief that a cabal of elites is systematically replacing white people with ethnic minorities. The president took aim not only at Gendron's warped worldview, but also alluded to right-wing media personalities and politicians who have amplified versions of replacement theory. Biden didn't call anyone out by name, but suggested prominent figures bore moral responsibility for the movement they were helping to grow. I call on all Americans to reject the lie, and I condemn those who spread the lie for power, political gain, and for profit, he said. White supremacy is a poison, Biden said. It's been allowed to fester and grow here before our eyes. No more. Biden didn't use the occasion to push for any policy prescriptions, whether by calling for more restrictions on guns or a crackdown on social media platforms that become havens for hate speech. He told reporters before boarding Air Force One on Tuesday that he has to convince Congress to go back to what I passed years ago, referring to an assault weapons ban he helped pass as a Delaware senator in the 1990s that expired in 2004. It is going to be very difficult, but I am not going to give up. In an evenly split Senate, Democrats almost certainly don't have the votes to pass such a measure. Several people who attended Biden's speech appreciated his focus on the community's grief instead of in Washington gridlock. I don't think he wanted to politicize the visit, Buffalo Mayor Byron Brown told Time shortly after Biden's speech. He met with 10 families of loved ones who were taken from them by a racist domestic terroristic attack on this community. I think he wanted to show his concern and his empathy and his compassion for the families. The family members of victims agreed. It was a heartfelt, beautiful speech, man, said Wayne Jones, whose mother, Celestine Cheney, was killed in Saturday's attack. He hit it right on the nose. Never surrender. Never quit.